college live on stream in front of y'all to pursue my talents to be able to attempt to enroll into Kai Cenat Streamer University. This is literally me in school. This is no trolls. I'm withdrawn. So here we are. Let me make sure I'm not leaking nothing again, bro. Now, dropped out of Georgia State University. I have officially withdrawn. So you're telling me you dropped out for 1 week of Kai Cenat school and you didn't wait to know it's guaranteed before you dropped out? And that's literally what I did. I didn't guarantee it's a risk. For that reason, I was willing to take that risk. Regardless if I get in or not, that's a part of the process. If anything, if I don't get in, it'll motivate me more. I don't even know if I should be excited now anymore. It's really like real life. On that note, that don't guarantee me a spot on the university too. This could decline my so easily just on some joking, should not give a laugh at me.
So there was this image that I was able to grab, right? It said Journey Smollett's ex, who is it? Uh X Canes. I'm trying to read this from a different screen, so it's a little bit different for me. Okay. Just Journey Smollett's ex-husband wants half of her childhood acting money, despite her paying him nearly 1 million since the divorce and 7K monthly child support. She's had this money since she was 3 years of age. Right now, I would love to know some people's opinions directly on this, because this is my opinion, and I've seen a lot of other opinions directly online when it deals with this context, when it deals with these things taking place in the reverse, right? If Journey Smollett was the one that was taking care of the child, had the child, and she wasn't the breadwinner, guess what? She'll be receiving money. And a lot of other women would basically state that, oh, he's supposed to do that. Actually, she deserves more because she's the mother. She gave birth, and this, that, and the third, all of the stresses and hard work and stuff that women have to sit up there and go through, right? But when it's the reverse, this is what takes place online. A lot of women are outraged at the fact that the father is getting both alimony and on top of that, child. What is he getting? Let me see. Their divorce. Yeah. So he's gotten alimony and he's also getting 7K for monthly child support. And it's crazy to me to see women actually mad about this. But since the beginning of time, women have always been able to get money because they're not the breadwinner, right? Because usually in divorces, if you have people that are, as some people like to say, equally yoked or balanced, right, in money, there's no reason for, in a sense, an alimony. There's no reason for any of that. The most that you would have to deal with is maybe, child support. But again, if people are pretty much making the same amount of money, it shouldn't be anything exorbitant. But dealing with the court system and primarily how it leans towards men, was going to sit up there and happen. But in this instance here, it's something vastly different, right? He's getting alimony, he's getting the child support, and women are outraged. Now, the funniest thing is that I see women outraged about this, but they're not outraged about the fact that seemingly this man has primary custody directly over the child. And I'm just trying to figure out, how does she not have primary custody? Because usually 9 times out of 10, when it deals with these situations, women primarily have custody of the child, right? So even still, even if she's making, more money, he would still have to pay something. But she has no custody, at least from what it seems from how they're portraying this, online. And that's a little bit weird to me. And I would have thought that women would be more outraged about that, but they're not. They don't even, in a sense, care about that. Didn't even really try to bring it up as a topic or a talking point, because I had to actually reread this because I thought I misread this when I first saw it online. But like I said before, if he has primary custody of the child, she has to sit up there and pay money. How else is the child going to be able to go to and from, do things that, the child needs to do at the end of the day? Right. But 9 times out of 10, usually, in most times, men are not going to ask for alimony or probably even take it. A lot of guys are not even going to really ask for child support, because normally guys are like, hey, I'm just going to make it work with whatever it is that we got. I got primary custody. It's just that. Go about your life, and we're going to go about ours. Right. That's primarily how it works. But, obviously, not so much. Knockout said, David, yes, he won the 2020. Oh, okay. You're talking back to David, right? Yo, what is up, Pink? What is up? What is up? What is up? Broth, what is going on? What is going on? You said equality. Yeah. Yeah. And the main thing, primary thing I've always mentioned is the fact that when people speak on equality, they don't want it across the board. It's only in, specific areas when it deals with very specific things, in a sense, cherry picking, right? Like I said, I found it kind of interesting. So let's go to the next video.
Off more than seeing a white person get online talking about, just imagine if it was an all-white Super Bowl, how outraged it would be. I ain't gotta imagine. We seen it already. We seen it plenty of times. TV shows, movies, concerts. Nigga, we seen it. Why does everything have to be about race? We're never gonna move. Bitch, this whole country was built on race. Off the backs of black people as slaves. Y'all used to eat us. Y'all ate us. Made furniture out of our hair. It's never not gonna be about race. It ain't no kumbaya. Black people were massacred in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. 100 years ago. That was y'all grandparents. It was so long ago. That's 100 years ago. Fred Hampton was assassinated in 69 at 21 years old because he was getting too powerful. FBI, the government. This is so aggravating because y'all don't even want to teach your kids the proper history. You don't want your kids learning how much of a monster y'all were, your ancestors were, to everybody, especially black people. You don't want to tell about they're going to grow up feeling shame. They should. As a white person, you should feel shamed about what your ancestors done to people. That's American history. You want to prop up all the good white shit and then try to erase and water down. It was just slavery. Couple race riots. We couldn't eat in the same building. We all got together in the end. Teach them all the history the right way.
And that guy's correct. All right, I got you, Pink. We want to see what that may be. But yeah, the craziest thing is he's correct, and this is actually going in a sense back to what David listed before when he was stating that, hey, you know, Trump abolished education due to the effect of people not wanting to really focus in on history, especially the bad parts where it would make an entire group look a certain type of way. This is why I've stated before why America cannot move forward. I stated countless times that if white people really wanted America to, in a sense, move forward, then they would actually be honest about everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly that is taking place. Then and only then will you, in a sense, have an inkling of a start of healing, right? But again, it goes back to the fact that a lot of people don't want to be held accountable for the things that their ancestors, that their family members, some of which who are actually still around to this day. Like white people got people in their family that are, you know, in their 90s or close to 100 years old. And you have people that will keep trying to state that, oh, you know, all this stuff that you're talking about, it was so long ago, it was hundreds of years ago. Nobody's even around to even tell you that. But you got people in your family that's at the age of 90. Had to repeat that about 3 times because I'm like, y'all sound crazy. I'm like, y'all here on social media celebrating y'all family members that made it to Grammy Graham just made it to 89 and Poppy Pop just made it to, you know, 97 years of age. It's a blessing to be, you know, that old and to see so many things happen, right? That's what y'all like to say. That it's a blessing to be around. It's a blessing to be alive. It's a blessing to have lived that experience, to be that library of knowledge. But black people, a lot of black people don't have that blessing because your people were a part of the exact same ones that got rid of them, that wanted to burn down the towns, that wanted to burn down the cities. You wanted to erase a lot of that history because I find it hilarious, right? That the things that you guys, the atrocities and the acts that you guys have committed, you want to overwrite, you want to erase away, you want to try to sweep directly under the rug any of those things. And then in order to further get past it, you're like, well, none of those people are even around. I myself, you know, wasn't a part of it, and neither were my family. Well, you don't know if your family was actually a part of it because they're not going to tell you the full history. If the United States government is not going to tell you the full history of everything that has taken place, then how would you know? If the United States government is not going to tell you, what makes you think that your family is going to tell you the full 100% of the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything that their family has done? What makes you think that they're going to do that? They're not going to do that because then the perception of what you believe to be that family or how good they are is going to change. And that's something that a lot of white people don't want to deal with. They don't want to suffer with that. They don't want to be directly in that. But whenever it deals with black people, what do we always hear across America? Oh, what about the crimes in these black cities? What about these murder rates? What about this? What about that? Oh, you guys are so violent. Look at you guys in your democratic cities. You can't run anything. You can't even take care of your own home. You can't even take care of your kids, right? But then, mind you, they want to list Chicago. But as I told you guys before, if we're going to talk about the murder rates and how everything started, St. Valentine's Day Massacre was the bloodiest, you know, street incident that ever took place in Chicago. There are no black groups in Chicago that can hold a candle to what it is that those Americans did. But yet they don't want to talk about that. And this is during the prohibition, this is during the bootlegging era. And they were doing everything from, bootlegging liquor and also things dealing with drugs as well too, and paying off cops and do it's crazy work how people want to really switch the narrative, and they want to try to make one group seem like they are just the most violent across all of America when historically we know who it is. But again, y'all don't want to face history. Y'all don't want to actually be real. You don't want to actually be honest about who's causing the most issues and the problems in America. Like I said, I tried to show you guys about the national debt. Who caused that issue? It's not Black Americans. We are not the ones that are doing that at all. But it is what it is. But let's continue.
Was about to blow up.
It was a dramatic scene, a fireball causing many to fear the worst.
This is going to be a bus vehicle on fire, unsure if it is occupied.
But thanks to school bus driver Dorian Pace, he and all 15 students making it off unharmed before the flames got out of control.
Thank you so very much for making all bus drivers across the state proud.
He's now being hailed a hero.
I would feel such a level of comfort putting my kids on one of your school buses, knowing that there are men and women of this character.
The bus was heading to Monticello Middle School in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, Thursday morning, when Pace says he heard a loud boom coming from underneath the bus.
When I pulled over, I actually heard another boom, and I saw smoke coming from the right rear tire, and then I saw flames.
Pace says once he saw the flames, he went into what he calls bus evacuation mode.
And what was going through my mind was, I can't lose any kids. So I quickly got everybody off the bus. We all exited through the regular front door because the fire was coming from the right rear.
The fire quickly spread throughout the entire bus. Students, at first unaware of just how serious it was.
We were all scared. We called our parents. It was like a couple of booms. Then when we got somewhere, I forgot exactly where it was, the bus driver said, everybody get off the bus.
Residents nearby watching in fear as it all unfolded.
I heard a big boom. I looked out the window and I saw flames coming from the side of the bus.
Authorities say the fire sparked somewhere between the wheel well. The exact cause is still under investigation. Pace says his prayers were answered that day.
I pray on the bus every day. I try to pray before I pick up the kids, and God just answered my prayers.
There you have it. Dorian went back to driving that very same day. The school district says the bus did pass its annual inspection just 2 weeks prior to the incident. And while we wait for answers, the praise here goes to the driver's quick actions, the students' cooperation, and bus evacuation drills, all credited with getting everybody off that bus. And the entire fleet of buses will now be re-inspected just out of an abundance of caution.
So I just want to give a shout out. And again, every now and again, you'll see me pull up videos or a multitude of videos in order to give much love, respect, and appreciation to Black men out there, because primarily America does a very bad job at trying to, portray Black men in any type of a positive light. This is one of the few stories that you will actually catch on social media where they will show the face of a Black man and they will talk about the heroism that he committed to, risking, his life to save the life of other people. And again, this goes back into how it is that Black people in America have always been. No matter who it is or what's going on, we see something wrong, we're going to go out there and we're going to try to do what it is that we need to directly do. Not only was this man doing his job, but he went beyond that, right? And he made sure that all of those kids were going to be completely fine, and then he got them directly off of that bus. But do you think that others out there in, the internet space are going to talk about this? They're going to highlight this? Do you think that they're going to be like, why can't we have, more Black people like this? And, in our communities, I would welcome him in with open. No, they're not. No, because they're not going to get any engagement directly from that. And if any of you guys have been on X, you would know that a lot of the tweets, especially that are negative about Black men or Black Americans in general, a lot of these people just so happen to have blue checks. Blue checks means that they are monetized in one way or another and that they get paid for the engagement. So they will talk as reckless, as childish, as crazy as possible in order to get a check directly off of Twitter. And primarily, again, the main way that a lot of these people just so happen to do it, focus wise, is Black Americans. It's the easiest way to sit up there and make money. And again, a lot of these people say that they don't need Black Americans. They say that we don't add anything or whatnot or whatever, but it seems that people are lining their pockets. You're paying $8.99 or whatever it is to get that blue check so that you can make that money and then some. But yet, you know, Black Americans don't do anything positive. We don't add into the culture. We don't help other people out. Crazy work. Like I said, shout out to that bus driver. Shout out to every single thing that he did. And shout out to his whole bloodline. Like I said, because without them, that man would not exist. And there is no telling what would have really went down if he was not the bus driver during that day. But let's continue. Oh yeah, and this next video is about the brother Adonis. This is somebody who I've told you guys about on this platform, so you can happen to catch him directly on Twitter. He uploads every day. He uploads on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok as well. This brother right here is the one that literally went from, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but went from New York over to the UK in order to try to figure out the narrative and correct the narrative when it deals with the Brits and how it is that they have, this type of feeling or sense about Black Americans, and how it is that they always want to state that we don't know our history. We don't know where it is that we're from, and all of these things. Right. So let's hear what he got to say.
This is how the UK confuses me as an American. Recently, I've gotten a lot of hostility from the UK demographic, predominantly the Black community or Caribbean or African community, talking about my content. And when I ask them, have they watched my content, they all say, no, I've seen only clips from the TikTok videos. So then I sit down and other creators make content on my content, and I say, like, do these creators watch my content? They all say, no, we haven't made, we're just basing it off of the trailers for the full content. I said, why don't you watch the content? They say, I'm not really interested in watching the content. So now I say, why are you talking to me about my content then if you're not really interested in watching my content? And they say, oh, well, I just want to talk about this particular situation because you don't need context to understand the full perspective of your content. I'm like, you don't need context to understand the full perspective of my content? That makes sense to you? And they're like, no, I understood this particular situation, but do you understand how we got to that particular situation? Do you understand where this context comes from this particular situation? No. Why didn't you understand the context of where this situation comes from? Because I didn't watch the full video. Why didn't you watch the full video? Because I can't be bothered to do that. Then why are you talking to me about this content if you haven't done that? Yeah, I understand. But what?
Yeah, and that's the problem. You have a lot of people directly out here that want to primarily focus on Black Americans, right? And this brother, he does the content. He literally he's doing the footwork, right? He's going to and from in order to get the actual perspective from the ground. He's not just on the internet, just, grabbing video. He went directly there, and he's having engagement, having conversations in real time with a lot of these folks over there in the UK. And they want to critique him. They want to say all of these things. And then they're like, all of your content is all about, us and all this. And he has another video, and he was responding back. He's like, yo, I'm looking at my videos right now. We're scrolling. And you see a variety of people up here. That's not you. He was scrolling through a whole bunch of videos that were nothing but like white folks, where he was having conversations and addressing different things with them. So it's like, again, the narrative that a lot of them want to spin online makes no sense. And then on top of that, you're talking to the person either online or face to face, and you got the nerve to critique him. And then you, at the same time, you're like, oh, I don't even watch your content because I don't need to. All I need is 5 seconds to understand who it is that you are. Word? Who are you, Batman? You're Bruce Wayne now? You're the world's greatest detective. You only need a couple of seconds to figure out a crime scene? That's a lie. Just say that you're lazy. Just say that it's easier just going off of a random thought versus actually taking out the time to learn something and to educate yourself. But again, a lot of people would rather not educate themselves, about a variety of things, especially when it deals with Black Americans. They were just like, yeah, I'm not about to do it. There's nothing to educate about you guys have no history, you guys don't have this, you guys don't have that. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. Because again, if you go look at a lot of Adonis's content and you would watch a lot of these UK Brits, you will see them again, like I've said before, they're dressed as if they just came out of New York, which makes no sense. Like, you're saying that black people have no culture in America, but you're dressed like any other person that is black in New York. You got the puffer directly on, you got some Timbs, you got some jogging pants, you might got like a Nike Tech or whatever it is. That's crazy work. And then you want to sit up there and state that you started pretty much hip hop, that you're the reason that a lot of things are moving culturally when it deals with like clothes. Brother, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Like, what is really happening at this moment in time? Like I said, the delusion that a lot of people, are in. And you want to, happen to say that black Americans suffer from main character syndrome. No, it's just the fact that we know who it is that we are. And we keep trying to tell people and y'all don't want to listen. And then y'all want to get mad when we're now forcing the issue to let you know. Because again, it's a whole different thing when people want to have a conversation. But then when people abroad or across the pond, across the way, are vocally on podcast amongst their own peers, and these are people who came from Africa, they might have came from Haiti, they might have came from the Caribbean, they came from everywhere else but America, and you guys are up there talking about us and trying to tell us about ourselves and our history. It makes no sense. So yeah, now we got to force the narrative. Now we got to be forceful, and we got to interject whenever it is that y'all decide to speak. Because again, that's crazy to me. Because we're not black Americans. We're not going to sit up there and do anything like that. We're not going to come directly to you and tell you, oh, you don't really know about your history. You don't really know about your tribes and your people. I know more than you do because I've studied. That sounds like what white people have been trying to explain or tell black people in America for the longest time possible. Oh, you don't actually know where you come from and da. You don't actually know. I know more than you do. How would you know more about me than I would about myself? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Like I said before, reading something versus experiencing, and then having the life stories and everything that entails with that whole, it's vastly different thing. But like I said, people live in this imaginary land where they feel like they can just do whatever. They're automatically these great professors on black Americans. And again, black Americans are the only group around the world, there's no other group that has to deal with this type of nonsense other than black America. Ain't nobody trying to tell Africans you don't know your history, where it is that you're from, yada yada yada. No, nobody's doing that to the Aboriginals. Shout out to the Australian Aboriginals. They're one of the only groups that are not even a part of this conversation, that have never even tried to utter the words or even focus on black Americans, or even try to just jump into the fray. Right? Shout out to them. Much love and shout out to the Australian Aboriginals. I'm talking about the dark complected people that are there who had their land stolen. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Hawaiians, because I have not, in a sense, really seen them decide to, jump into the fray with everybody else either. Right. But I've seen everybody from African, island wise, like the Caribbeans, Bahamas, all of these types of things, to imports that are just now coming to the United States, the people in Canada, to, others around the world that want to really speak on black Americans as if they really have any type of inkling or an idea of what it's even like, or the actual history. Like I said, it's crazy. It's crazy work out. But shout out to the brother. Shout out to Adonis for everything that he does and how it is that he goes about everything. Like I said, that's a major move to, go out on a limb and be like, you know what, I'm going to start up a platform. I'm going to move abroad, and I'm going to see where it goes. Like I said, if you watch a few of his other videos, you'll realize, like, when he went directly over there, he was like, he didn't really have much. He went over there with whatever little he has saved up and pretty much started from there. Right? Like I said, shout out to that brother. He is doing God's work. But now let's continue. Let me see. Where's the next one that we got? Directly right there. Okay, so this one's going to be technically because of the music, and I I hope that the TikTok that's flashing is the actual TikTok, but I wanted to make sure to leave that directly up there. So what it says is this woman's boyfriend who just turned 21 on March 3rd, and neither one of his parents told him happy birthday. It would be really nice if you guys wished him happy birthday. Again, hopefully that is the actual TikTok, because if it is, y'all can go there and, you know, wish the young man a happy birthday. But that's crazy to me. And again, this is going with the same theme of parents need to be parents directly out here. There is no reason at all. Like, even looking at the video, you got the young man obviously in a relationship. He's with the, as I'm guessing, the mother of his child. And, you know, they're sharing these moments directly with people. So at least from what I'm looking at, he looks like a very decent young man, right? Very responsible. He is directly in the life of his child, right? Of which he formed with a whole nother human being, right? And it's also, this is, you know, two birds with one stone. This is also going against that narrative that a lot of people like to spin online, where they like to say that, oh, black men, they always run from their responsibilities. They always create kids with black women and they never want to be there. But this is when I have to bring up the statistics when it deals with the CDC, out of all people, out of all places, where they're like, primarily black men are the only ones in America out of all the other groups there, all the other groups of men, black men are primarily the only group that are in and around their child's life more than anybody else. When that was brought up online, the response that I saw from a white guy, he was like, well, you know, we're active in our child's lives too, but we have jobs. So, you know, we can't be there all the time. The excuses, the excuses. It's something I don't even want to technically bring up because of other things, but everybody watched Everybody Hates Chris, right? And that was pretty much the story that was turned into a television show dealing with Chris Rock, right? And all of his experiences, his childhood and everything. The primary thing that was there was his father, and his father worked two jobs. Even if he worked two jobs, he was still there. He was still present. So to see a white guy online on X trying to make an excuse, well, we have jobs, that's why we can't be there. That's a huge excuse. That's a very major excuse to sit up there and try to say why you can't, in a sense, be a present father. What? That's crazy. Because the funniest thing that I've seen online is that I've seen white dudes that were in small towns that were coal miners. Like one dude I had a video of, and I might still have it somewhere. It was a white dude video. He's a coal miner. He literally, after work, he didn't even take a shower, no nothing. He took his son directly to a hockey game. So what are you talking about? What excuses? Like I said, the excuses that people want to create and try to use is crazy. It's preposterous. It makes no sense. Just say that you just don't want to be, you want to create, you want to, in a sense, have like that title to feel like you accomplish something, but realistically, you don't want the actual responsibility of being fathers, because a lot of other guys out here are fathers. Like I said, the internet is something. It is crazy. It is diabolical work. Oh, what was this? Let me go back to that. What was that? Josh Johnson, JJ, here's some web in your eye. You decided that you wanted to say, we keep giving black people free stuff, and you keep being the same virus and parasites that you've always been. So I guess we're even, right? I guess that would make us even, right? Because at the end of the day, right? And I just want to make this very clear. The focus on this, obviously, the greater majority of the content I'm focusing on today is dealing with black people. And somehow, some way, somebody has a victim mentality of not getting enough attention, and they want to, put themselves up there so that they can get the attention that they deserve. When realistically, historically, you've always gotten that attention, screaming, kicking, crying, no matter what it is, no matter where you've gone, right? You've brought disease, you've brought viruses, you've brought extinction. And then you got the nerve to roll up here on my platform and you want to sit up there and try to tell me that y'all give black people things for free. Anybody that's indigenous to a country, to a land, has always given you stuff for free, but here you are. They've given you time, they've given you energy, they've given you money. Matter of fact, for the Europeans out there, when you guys visited like the Mayas, the Incas and whatnot, what happened to their gold? Where did all of that go? That's what I'm trying to figure out, right? Because a lot of these, the portrayal of a lot of these, ancient cultures, right? we saw them having a lot of gold, and this was just something naturally that they wore, right? No matter what culture that you go around, this was just stuff that they naturally wore. You yourself, in a sense, were not naturally doing this, right? This was something that you, in a sense, saw other people do, right? But those other people didn't have the same mentality as you. They didn't look at it as like, oh, I see you sitting up there wearing this, so I'm going to steal it and take it directly from you. I'm going to do something so that I can usurp your throne, so that I can have all of those gold, those jewels, and all the things like that. Like I said, case in point, look at the United Kingdom. How did they get diamonds and jades and sapphires and all of these things? Because that is not coming directly from you. You have to get that from somewhere else, or better yet, steal it and then claim it as yours. That's the one thing that I've noticed about a lot of European countries. You guys like to pillage and go to other people's countries and claim and steal things, and then you want to act all innocent like nothing's ever happened. Or better yet, you want to be like the true Americans in North America and be like, oh, that was so long ago. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what it is that we can learn from the mummified remains stolen and taken from somebody else's country. Like, you literally went to somebody else's country. You left Europe, went down to Africa, went to somebody's burial site, and you stole the body of their ancestors. Let's start there. And then you want to call it, instead of getting caught and, you know, in a sense, tried and prosecuted for what it is that you done, which is thievery, right? Which is grave robbing. You want to be like, the actual title for what it is that we done, we're archaeologists, right? We analyze, you know, the past. And in order to analyze the past, we have to, you know, go through the tombs, the sarcophagus, right? AKA the grave sites. You have to, you know, unbury somebody. You have to be grave robbers. It's funny how you guys try to make these big words in order to get away from the crimes that you guys commit on an everyday basis. It's diabolical. Because last time I checked, even dealing with Europe and America, it was a point in time that for the doctors and the nurses that you guys were educating, you didn't actually have enough bodies. So two things that you guys would do: you would poison people and take their lives that way. There's books on this. Or the other way is that you would hire poor people to be grave robbers to exhume said bodies, and then they will go directly to the, you know, medical colleges and so on, so that there will be bodies that people can actually work on. Like I said, those are the only two ways that you got enough bodies to, you know, have the doctors that you in a sense had during those times, because there was no other way. The medical field would not be what it is without the criminal minds and the thievery and the underhandedness that was taking place. Again, these are all the same things that you guys did back in Africa, correct? But again, like you said before, you know, y'all just keep giving you know, black people free stuff. Isn't that what y'all doing to the European immigrants coming directly over here from Europe? You're just giving them free stuff out of American taxpayer dollars, but you don't want to sit up there and complain and say nothing about that, because those people are reflective of you. But yet at the same time, your government is the one actually robbing you. But then you don't want to focus on that, because that means that you would have to look at you, so that you want to deflect and you want to sit up there and start talking about black people. It's crazy how you guys lack any type of sense of accountability, but you're always trying to preach accountability to black people. That's crazy work there, JJ. Crazy work. But yet, here we are. Here we are. Right? What do we got at this moment in time? Yeah. So what we're going to do directly for you there, I don't know who you are. No random, you know, promotions directly in a comment section trying to lead people to whatever. We're not doing that here. You didn't even run anything directly through me at all. You didn't even ask for permission to try to sell any type of clothing or merch by way of my platform. We don't do that. That's just 100% disrespectful, and stuff like that will get you banned. That will 100% get you banned. I don't care if you are a subscriber. I don't care if you donated. What, you will sit up there and get banned. Like I said, the only thing I ask of people is to be respectful when it deals with my platform, because never in my life would I ever go onto anybody else's platform and decide to promote my brand of clothing and or shoes or whatnot or whatever. I've even told people myself that don't go to other people's, you know, platforms and do that. Right? If I wanted to, I would specifically speak to the owner of said platform, of said brand, and then we would have that dialogue. Right? Like I said, it's all about respect. But I guess people don't happen to believe in that. They just want to do whatever. Right. I got you, Ping. I got the clips from TikTok as well. I was just also giving myself a little bit of time. Kiza, what is up? What is up? What is up? Pink said, I've seen videos of black fathers spending time with their kids as soon as they get home. They don't shower, eat, or have a moment to yeah, and that's facts. But that's something that a lot of people don't want to focus on or even talk about as well. They don't want to talk about none of that. And as I told you guys, even when I was younger, I did the exact same thing at a point. I'm like, yo, okay, hospital visit, no problem. I'm going to sit up there and pack a little bit of clothes. Again, I'm young during the time, early 20s. I'm not really, a huge thing on packing, but I'm going to pack a little bit of something. But primarily, if I'm in a hospital, of course, taking a shower, whatever, and I'm primarily just going to be going through there in pajamas, right? Because I'm not really worried about myself. It's all about that child at the end of the day. Is make sure that it doesn't matter if it's like the NICU or whatever it is. Making sure that the child is completely fine and dandy, letting the child know that, hey, we are here directly for you, even though you might not be able to see us, you might not be able to hear us, you might not even remember this moment, but the energy is, in a sense there, in hopes to convey that to the child to, help the healing, process and, and different things like that. So yeah, trust me, I 100% understand, because these were things I did at a very young age that I did not have to do at all, that were not even my responsibility, but I made it my responsibility because of, who it was that I was with at that moment in time, in my life. Right. Again, just talking, trying to be transparent and everything like that. Brandon V. World said, I do it every day. And that's facts. That is facts. Matter of fact, let me just highlight this real quick. Because I'm talking about, in a sense, Black Fathers, Officer Haku, as I know him, outlaw, that had a platform. This is something that I talked about before. How it is that you have black men out here that are fathers, that are married to black women, that have black kids, black car, everything. Everything is all black. And people don't want to focus on that. They don't want to focus on the positive aspects of men being fathers. I got another boy by the name of Jarrell, father, single father, right? I'm not going to get too in depth of, the situation, but he has primary custody of his son, and he's been raising his son, taking care of his son for pretty much almost as long as I've known him. And there's, again, those are different facets. You got, one father that is married and he's with the family and everything. And then you have another father who has primary custody, and the mother does not want any parts of, the child or anything like that. So again, the exact same things that people try to say about black fathers not wanting to be there, for my experience, from things that I'm able to observe in real life, is 100% lies. I've always been able to see, and again, this is coming from a guy that's a statistic. Again, I'm being as transparent as possible, right? And I ended up seeing my father when I was, 18, right? For the first time in my life. But other than my experience, primarily I've been able to witness fathers always being present. It doesn't matter what girl I dated. Fathers were there, right? It doesn't matter what male friends I have. Fathers are there. It doesn't matter the guys that I just so happen to know. Guess what? They're present in their children's lives. So it's amazing to me how it is that people magically don't see this. And again, going on to the fact that Brandon V. World had what was the name of the channel? It was Black Family Time. He literally created a channel that was dedicated to black love, right? Which is something that everybody says, like, oh, we need to see more positivity. We need to see, more black love, more black men, more black women. But what ended up inevitably happening was like, hey, I'm just going to sit up there and drop this, because the views were not coming in. Black people were not sitting up there searching for it. Black people were not sitting up there looking for it, because guess what? Black people wanted to look for the negative. They wanted to focus in on the toxic, because it's a lot easier to give energy to be negative. It's a lot easier to get, notoriety and all these other types of things from that, versus actually looking at content that is positive, and especially coming from a person that is living that life and that experience. So not only do you have a person creating this, but this is a person also living it at the same time, also trying to share this out there with people. But like I said before, a lot of people talk, a lot of people will state the things that they want, but that's not really what it is that they want. This is what I speak on all the time. So this is why I always continuously state the reason why Black people don't see a lot of positive stuff out there is, number one, they're not looking for it. And number two, when they just so happen to get it, they don't want to sit up there and support it. And those are just the facts. Those are just the facts. Again, if I need to sit up there and prove the narrative, I can bring the brother directly up on a live stream, or I can do a solo video to literally have that conversation. And we've both created content to, push some, positive narratives directly out there. And we saw the aftermath. We saw the engagement, or quote unquote lack thereof. But like I said, it is what it is, That's how I be. That's how I be. Brandon V. World said, I'm proud to say that I spend every day with my kids. That's facts. That is 100% bars. I can always hear the kids directly in the background. Even certain points in times when, he was doing live streams on what was it, Mixer? Was it Mixer or was it Facebook? Or was it on Twitch? I think it was Twitch, or maybe all three. But at any given moment in time where the brother was doing a live stream, you would have either saw his son or daughter directly up there, in the camera, waving or whatnot or whatever. Or I think even some instances, I think he even let one of them actually play the game on stream. And like I said, that's dope content. That is awesome content. But like I said before, it's crazy when people don't want to support the positive image of a Black man, but yet content like his won't get supported. But then everybody, I'm going to put it like this: the greater majority of people in the Black community and other people around the world will make sure to sit up there and support somebody that's a deadbeat. Right? They'll be giving him all the publicity. They'll be leaving all the comments. They'll be creating all of these threads. They'll make all types of videos directly on that. But when it's dealing with somebody who is being a father that's present, you can literally see the enjoyment. You can see the engagement. You can see everything, all the affection, all the love and everything. Nothing is dead silence. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. That's 100% crazy. And this is why, and I'm just going to sit up there and be honest, this is why I sat up there and told other people out there, I'm like, yo, I get the whole point that you want to do, certain types of content or whatever, but it's it's not going to work because Black people ain't there yet. And that's just being real. There's no other way that I could sit up there and put it. Like I said, I've been on social media probably more than a lot of other people, and I could sit up there and tell you that a lot of Black people, including others, would rather subscribe to a lot of negative content, a lot of controversial and toxic content, and support that, donate money, and do all of these things versus putting up positive content. It's crazy work. It's 100% crazy work. Like I said, I would love to sit up there and see more content like the video, that freeze frame of the video that you see, and even the content from Brandon Viewer. I would love to sit up there and see that content because it's wholesome content. And then it's also content not only due to the wholesome factor, but you also got younger Black men out here that may not really have the guidance or know how to, maybe be a father or to really engage. And they need somebody to teach them that because they didn't have it. So they can sit up there and look up to somebody like Brandon V. World and see the engagement, see how, he conducts, things here and there, and they can learn something. But like I said, this is the type of world that we're living in. People would rather focus in on degenerates and they would rather, focus in on guys getting like 8 different women pregnant and not sitting up there actually being there for the kids and not even remembering the names of the kids. Like I said, it's crazy work out here. 100% crazy work. Pink said, my son and I watch Invincible now. Invincible is a pretty it's a pretty nice show. Now, I'm not sure. Now, Pink, I'm just going to let you know ahead of time because I, reading the comic and whatnot or whatever. There's going to be a subject that there's going to be a character called Anissa. If you don't know who that is, you might want to type her in ahead of time because I think it should be coming in during this season. Type her name in and read about her character because that subject is a heavy subject, and I'm not sure how much they're going to show, but it's going to have ramifications and effects from if they show it this season all the way to the end of whenever they end Invincible, right? So I just want you to happen to look at that ahead of time so that you can technically brace yourself for that and everything like that, just to give a warning out there about it. What is up, Prince? What is up, Prince? Ameru, what is up? You said great job, my guy. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Pink said we're still on season 1. Okay. Ty said she pops up in season 2. Yeah, I think I do remember. Yeah. Brandon said is going to be next season. Okay. Season 3. All right. Because they got some things popping up now, and I'm like, it's about to begin. I'm like, man, it's gonna be something. Yo, Lunch, what is up? You said what show y'all talking about? I was just briefly mentioning Invincible. That's another nifty little show, directly out there, and whatnot. Pretty nifty show. I think if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, you got the guy from The Walking Dead voicing Mark, who is the main character, Invincible. And then you have as I like to call him, JJ from Spider-Man, John Jonah Jameson as Invincible's dad, in the show, which is pretty great. Funny enough, it's like the mustache and everything basically matches up with him. If they were to give him like the proper like headpiece and they basically give him the mustache, it'll fit. He will look just like Invincible. Think, Mark. Think. It's like it's some funny stuff. But let's continue to the next video.
I've never once met a man who has put really any monetary value on a woman that he is interested
Yeah, Steve Yu, yeah.
If he thinks that girl is attractive, his type, nice, whatever, I've never, ever heard a man be like, oh, well, what's her job? Does she make enough money? I don't know. She's, I don't know. She may be broke. Like, I've never met a man put a monetary requirement on a lady he honestly likes. But if I'm being honest, most women, I can't say all, but most women that I know definitely have a monetary minimum. And I think that underscores the key difference between what men and women are interested in, really interested in. This is why a lot of times, when we get in these spaces and pretend like, hey, we're all equal and we can all do the same things. I'm like, so much of that is capped because God just created us differently and we're even attracted to different things.
So this is another content creator that I have pointed out over the years, and specifically for the content that she has done and how she will speak out when it deals with, a lot of women out there, saying the wrong things, different actions, and so on, right? So she was responding to the comment that you see directly in front where it says, my son, a young teen, mustered up the courage to ask a girl out on a date. The girl's response, you can't afford me. Just imagine that. For anybody out here who has a son, like you're raising a son at this moment in time, just imagine your son finally it was a girl that, quote unquote, the girl of his dreams, right? The girl that he's really attracted to. And he finally, he got the haircut, he got the smell good on. He bought some new clothes, for this one moment to really try to give that first great impression. And he was like, yo, I really want to, take you out. And, I was wondering if you would be interested. And she's like, you can't afford me. Just think about that. You have a teenager, the girl probably 16, from like 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, telling your son that you can't afford me. This is why I stated that social media is a very dangerous place. Because whatever older women are out here doing, however it is that they parade themselves, however it is that they decide to talk and they speak to men out here, and I'm talking about these are grown women, these are women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, right? And this is the main thing that they would normally state to men. But, oh, you can't afford me. You can't afford to take me out, right? You can't afford to marry me. You can't afford to take me on a trip. You can't afford to buy me, right? Basically calling them broke. It's crazy to know the fact that you got these young teenage girls out here calling the young dudes in their own demographic, own age range, broke. Ma'am, you're broke too. What are you talking about? You live at home. You've been broke since you were born. You ain't been here nothing but like 5 to 7 seconds. And you got the audacity to sit up there and try to call a peer broke. What? Like I said, this is why I said a lot of things in society are very detrimental to the learning, to the processes of a lot of these young girls directly out here. That's I can't even say that's diabolical. That's just, I don't even know. And I can only imagine how hurt he felt. I can only imagine how hurt he felt. Like, I've been in them shoes before, and that was before social media. I've been called broke. Even if I had money in my hand, I've been called broke. And I'm like, what are you even talking about right now? I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, we both live at home. I'm like, we're both going to school. We're both not doing good, when it deals with like our GPA. I'm like, what are we even talking about right now? I don't have a car. You don't have a car. I don't have a job. You don't have a job. You live with your mom. I live with my mom. How are you calling anybody broke? But like I said before, the funniest thing is, and there was a guy that went over this in a podcast, right? Because a woman was trying to explain broke, and she was stating how women don't brand themselves or subscribe to the theory of being broke, right? So basically means that no matter what a woman is going through, she's never broke. It's just a situation. But when it deals with guys, when it deals with men, yeah, y'all broke. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, that is some diabolical work there. That is some very insane thing. And going back to what the woman stated here on how men and women are built differently, it's like, yeah, it's very easy for, let's say, that young girl to say that young man is broke because she's more than likely getting money from other guys, right? Other guys are probably sitting up there like, oh, let me sit up there and give you, like 50, 150, $200 just for nothing, right? For the impress factor, to basically make it seem like they got money. And they really don't. Because the same effort that you put in when you're trying to show forth money, the same way that you got that woman, the same way you got to keep her. So if you showing off and flashing money, guess what? You got to keep up that exact same tactic for God knows how long. And good luck with that. Because chances are very great, if you are an ordinary guy, you do not have the funds to keep up that charade. This is why you don't lead with money. And this is why leading with money will basically set you and other people up for failure. Because obviously that is the experience of that young girl. Somebody out there is probably cashing her out and doing all of this, and guys, she probably getting chauffeured in some type of rentals, right? So in her mind, she's not broke because she's always getting money, not by her own hands and feet, but she got people basically, just giving her money by Cashapp. So she's going to look at your son as being broke because, oh, he can't do what those other guys are doing. It's crazy. Crazy work, man. Crazy work. Jabroni said, now even the teenage girls have been poisoned by the so-called culture. Yeah. So like I said, to anybody out here raising sons, good luck. I weep because the things that they're going to have to sit up there and hear is going to be crazy. The comparison that a lot of these young girls are going to sit up there and make is going to be crazy. Because they're going to try to act as though that they're living this IG lifestyle that is only existing in a sense on the internet or for those women that are selling themselves out. Like I said, it's crazy, man. The delusion out here is diabolical. And the only way that this can get fixed is if, you got women out here that are willing to actually start talking to and teaching these young girls out here. But you don't have enough women willing to do that. A lot of women, even older women, they just want to be on IG. They want to be quote unquote ultra attractive. They want to be in competition, with their daughters and, and different things, of that nature, which again, like I said before, is crazy to me, but this is where we are. Right. What was it? SN said you have to understand what girls and guys learn from the media. Their role models are rappers. It's not even just rappers. It's all over the place. You can go from people that are in sports. You can go from rappers. You can go to even women who are just simply in the entertainment industry and more. Or you can even go to the older women who say these types of things. So, like I said, it's all across the board. It's not just specifically, one place where, they're absorbing, a lot of this quote unquote information. Jabroni said, just another sign that this wicked country is on its deathbed. I can't sit up there and say when things are going to sit up there and end, because before all of us were born, people have been saying the same thing for hundreds, if not thousands of years, that, this world and everything is coming to an end. And we've been waiting for a long time. And we're still trucking. So even after us, people are still going to be saying the exact same thing, waiting, on that one final moment. But like I told people before, instead of waiting for things that are supposedly pre-written, which technically to me is a little bit crazy, you should try to fix what it is that you can. Try to correct the way, because like I said before, it's crazy to, I don't know. Like I said, I ain't about to, go deeply into that, but yay. SN said when the girl hits 30 and single, she will more than likely pay for men to have a date. More than likely what's going to happen with that young girl who turned down that young man is that young man, after getting turned down, and is going to probably happen several more times dealing with the generation of now, he's going to focus in. He's going to get money. He's going to work specifically on himself, and those girls are going to sit up there and try to spin the block. And once they see that he made it, aka being a finished, result, they're going to be like, oh, that was me when I was younger. I was immature. I'm different now. And then that same woman is probably going to have kids. I can tell you. I kid you not. It happens pretty much 9 times out of 10. That the same women that happen to turn down those young guys, those nice young guys, are the same ones that inevitably give everything up to the worst guys. And then when the nice guy comes around, they want the nice guy to sit up there and basically work for everything. It's crazy work. You done freely gave the dudes kids. You done freely gave yourself up. You done freely tattooed his name all over you and everything like that. You done freely gave all of your emotions and your greatest experiences, the greatest parts of your life, directly to all of those dudes. Didn't ask them to work for nothing. But the dude that you turned down, when he comes into the picture, he got to sit up there and work 1,000 times harder than any of those guys out there. On top of the fact that now you got kids. That's crazy. But like I said, men and women are built different. Just gonna, put that directly out there. Want to give a shout out to Brother Allen for the $5 dono directly to the channel. Much love, respect, and appreciation, brother. Much love, respect, and appreciation. You said SN said it's sad. Only men she will date who will pay for her when she is young or old individuals. Right? Well, it'd be like that. The last part is a little bit tough, right? Because now that's going to touch on a different subject, which is something that I mentioned in a different video I did upload, to you guys. For a lot of those who made it to the end of the video, much love, respect, and appreciation for doing that. The one part that I want to mention, if I can just so happen to find it, is this one here. Right? So this is in a sense touching on the exact same situation, right? Where we have individuals that decide they want to, date somebody who is of a certain age. So let me just, swap that over, right? So this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about the last live stream, but I didn't get a chance to because, live stream ended a little bit different and I didn't really want to switch, the energy from that live stream. Let me see if I can minimize that, do that, and pull that over. and make that a little bit larger. So hopefully y'all can see it, right? So going in on the fact of, people's life choices and decisions, right? This was another thing I ended up seeing directly online that women had a problem with. So as it reads, I got to zoom this in for myself. You have this Anthony Edwards, born August 5th, 2001, age 23, Atlanta, Georgia, right? So he's a young dude. He plays basketball. It says that Anthony Edwards allegedly filed a motion claiming that he does not want visitation or custody of his 4-month-old daughter with Aisha Howard, right? So Aisha Howard is the woman that you see at the bottom. This woman is pretty much, for all intents and purposes, I'm rounding this up to 40. I'm just going to round it up to 40 because that's just what we're going to do. Because on social media, whenever there's a older guy, he could be 30, and people will sit up there and say like, "Oh, you're basically 50, and you're trying to date women in their 20s," right? That's what people like to do. So I'm doing the exact same thing here. So you have this 40-year-old woman who decided that she wanted a relationship or situationship with a 23-year-old. Now, if math serves me correctly, his frontal lobe is not developed yet, right? Because people say it's like 24, 25 or whatever it is for the frontal lobe to actually develop in a person for them to be an adult, make reasonable, logical decisions, right? So he's not there, right? So all intents and purposes, mentally still, young, still ignorant, still childish, right? But you have this grown woman, fully grown woman, 40 years of age, who decided that you wanted to get pregnant by a 23-year-old. And I'm trying to figure out, I need somebody to make this make sense to me. Why is it that even this 40-year-old woman who decided to get pregnant by a 23-year-old, people are still trying to blame him for this whole situation? I'm a little bit confused. Aren't we supposed to blame the oldest person there, the person that's supposed to be more logical, be able to make more less emotional decisions, right? Someone that's going to flow off of logic, common sense. But yet women online are like, "Oh, that's terrible. He doesn't want to be a father." Why would you expect a 23-year-old who's literally making money? He's in the NBA. He can get fields of women. He can get probably like 10 or 20 or 50 of her throughout his whole career. Why would you think that he is going to sit up there and stick directly with you? Why do you think that he's going to be specifically a father to your child? Why do you think that was even going to be the case? Like, this is what I'm talking about. People don't want to be responsible for their decision makings. And I'm primarily looking at the 40-year-old because I'm, as most women would like to say online, how if this was a guy, this would be considered predatory behavior. This is predatory behavior. Why do I see these fields of older women going directly after these 20-year-old dudes who got money? That's crazy to me. But as I stated before, it's always about the bag. I've literally watched IGs, I watched TikTok lives and all this other type of stuff where women like this will be like, "Yes, for the bag. You got to, sit up there and secure that money." Because again, you have a lot of women out here that don't want to work. They would rather easily just get pregnant, be pregnant for about like 9 months by some rich dude, and that's it. They don't care if the dude wants to be a father or not. They don't even care if the guy loves them or not. They just want that money because they know that they can go back to the court and happen to get thousands of dollars. Like I said, that's crazy to me. But people don't want to, bring this up and talk about this. But they always want to try to make it seem like the guys out here are the problem. It's crazy work, man. That is 100% crazy work out here, man. It's crazy. Nelson Charles said these girls be like 16 asking for cash apps. Yeah, it's crazy out here. You're like, if you and this is why I try to tell a lot of parents out here, I'm like, yo, y'all need to be really like watching y'all kids on social media, because the moment in time, like on top of the fight videos and everything else that they shouldn't be posting, that they be posting online, a lot of them got cash apps directly in their bios and everything. And I'm like, bro, you're literally living at home and you have a cash app up there, and you're like basically trying to insinuate or ask people to send you money for what? Get a job. What are you, like 15, 16? Get a job. Go work at McDonald's. Go do this. Go. But like I said before, you're living in a culture where a lot of these girls are looking at the older women and seeing the quote unquote supposed easy life that they live. And they're like, yo, I want that for myself. So let me sit up there and get started early, because they don't have positive or great female role models out here. Crazy work, man. But like I said before, you got a lot of people that don't want to be parents directly to their kids, and this is what happens. This ends up being the end result, the aftermath, or whatever it is that you want to call it. SN said, no, she's not. It's just that she heard that from the women around her. I guess, Tyreek, what is up? C Apple said, yo, bro, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good as always. How are you doing? Much love, respect, and appreciation for pulling up to the stream. Nelson said she preyed on that man. She is a predator. That's bars. That's how I sit up there. Like I said, I'm an equal opportunist. Whatever women want to happen to use, when I look at older women doing this exact same thing, that's how I'm going to look at it. There no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like I said, I'm about equality across the whole board, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So whatever men get prosecuted for, or they get their names dragged through the mud, I expect that exact same thing on social media. And if people ain't doing it, I'll be the one to sit up there and do it. That's how we work out here. Equal opportunity. Like I said, it's all love. Ty said, yeah, a lot of people are going off on him. Yeah, and it's crazy to me. Like I said, he's innocent wrong. He should be more responsible, of course. But again, I'm looking at the age. He's in his 20s. He literally just started his 20s. This woman is beyond that. She's basically 40. You've been on this earth way too long to be this stupid. You've been on this earth way too long to be this stupid. But yet here we go. Here we are. And you know what the younger girls are sitting up there doing? They're going to model their lives directly after this. Matter of fact, I'll take it a little bit further back for y'all. Before we had a lot of this social media stuff, before we had the video vixens in a sense, there was a show, even when I was younger, I cursed in a sense, for lack of a better word. It was a show called I think, what was it, like 16 and Pregnant, whatever it was on TLC or whatever channel that it was. When I saw that at a young age, I'm like, yo, why are y'all glorifying these girls, these teenagers being pregnant? Like, you're turning them into celebrities. You're making this as some type of an it thing. And then during that timeline, you also had girls making what was called pregnancy packs, where they would sit up there and set up a time for all 5 of them, for the group to sit up there and get pregnant or to try to get pregnant at the same time. And I'm like, where are the parents at? I'm like, society don't see this as a problem. I'm like, this is an issue. You're glorifying the wrong things. This should not be something to be proud of. But yet we go on from that, and here we are in 2025. So I'm not going to sit up and say that I'm really surprised or shocked, because I already knew what was going to happen. And that was when I was younger. That was literally when I was seeing this literally start up to be a problem. But again, where were the parents? Nowhere. Where were the adults to sit up there and speak up and to really stop this? Nowhere. Because at the end of the day, the parents knew what it was. They knew that it's wrong for their kids to sit up there and have kids, or to be pregnant back to back outside of wedlock and everything like that. They knew that there is negative connotations that come directly with that. How it is that those kids are going to just so happen to, grow up. But you know what the parents really cared about? It was all about the money. They had contracts. They were getting paid by, TLC or whatnot or whatever. So that's what they decided to do. Those parents sold out their kids for profit. And I can also take this back to other stories where people want to quote unquote talk about, oh, but what about these guys? They were wrong for what it is that they did and yada, yada, yada. That can be very much true. But also at the same time, what about the parents? Didn't the parents know about what their daughters, what their kids were sitting up there doing? Whose mansion or house they were specifically going over to? Oh, that's right. The parents didn't care, because guess what? It was about the money that they were getting at the end of the day. So, I just want to, circle this all back to the whole thing that people want to talk about, the kids and everything around the world being married at young ages and all this other type of stuff, get away for money or dollaries or whatever it is, right? People been doing the same thing, even in the United States. Like I said, go back and watch TLC and watch the parents who are also on those shows as well, too. Everybody's getting paid for degeneracy. But yet, when it deals with, going back to an earlier topic, when it deals with the Black community, what do people always want to sit up there and tell you? Black men don't want to be present. Black men don't want to be fathers. But yet you got television shows based off of this narrative, but it's showing other people that ain't black. Right. So you're dealing with a society that's sending a lot of mixed messages to a lot of people directly out here. And the only ones that's profiting is both the government, the news, and many others directly out there, profiting off of all this degeneracy. But like I said, it is what it is. But again, I'm more so angry at the 40-year-old about this whole situation, because all she had to do was not go after somebody that was 23 years of age for money. She could have went after anybody else, but she decided to do this because it was easier for her to do, because she knew that she didn't really have to try. There was no type of test that he was going to set up, because he's 23 at pretty much the height or the beginning of the height of his career, whatnot, whatever. And she looks the way that she looks. Like I said, at the end of the day, sex sells. And that's what she used. But anyways, let's let me look at some of these comments. Let me see. Ty said, blaming him even though he said he didn't want it from the jump and said he wanted her. Yeah, and yo, Ty, the craziest part is I've hold on, let me highlight this. One of many shout out, much love and appreciation for the $2 dono to the channel. You said Teen Mom on MTV. Thank you. Because I thought it was on Discovery. I've been, Octomom and John and K plus 8, all of those pretty much brainwashed me, and I couldn't figure out the channels. But yeah, MTV was some diabolical work. They were really planting the seeds, and they did it. And this was over, 10 plus years ago. Well over. Well over. And you can see what happens when people have a 10 to a 20-year plan and they want to implement something. This is what it looks like, and this is what the outcome is going to be when it affects society. But like I said, people don't want to pay attention. Nobody wants to listen. So there we are. But yeah, Ty, the craziest part is I've literally witnessed and heard conversations. And the other thing I said in that video is the funniest thing is that women, every now and again, women and girls will have conversations with their boyfriends, and they'll be like, "Oh, what would you do if I get pregnant? Like, what are we going to do?" And yada 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 and all this other type of stuff. And I'm like, that shouldn't even really be a question if everybody's really doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, right? If people are managing things properly and yada yada yada. And I get that some people, I'm like, well, condoms break and da 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 and whatnot or whatever. Yeah, they do, but again, there are ways to make sure things don't happen. that's the best way I can sit up there and in innocence put it to keep it PG, right? There are a variety of things to do in order to make sure things don't necessarily happen, because people always bring up the whole condom breaking and whatnot. And the thing that I like to bring up to a lot of people is the fact that a lot of people out here that talk about condoms ain't even using them. Not even using them. This is why I would heavily talk about, STDs or STIs directly on the channel and the stats and whatnot, and bring those things up, because that is the proof that a lot of people don't even worry about using condoms. A lot of people don't even know what a dental dam is or anything like that, right? I'm not even sure if they even still make dental dams, at this moment. Let me just see something while I'm sitting up here talking. So they actually do still make them. They do still make them. And the craziest part is that you have a lot of women out here that would always tell a guy like, oh, make sure that you have protection, right? They would always put it directly on the guy to be responsible, instead of them making sure that they're also responsible as well as having some there. If they know that something's going to happen, it's like, hey, you should prepare ahead of time. Again, for whatever reason, 9 times out of 10, women would always put the bare responsibility of safety directly on the guy, instead of also worrying about their own safety as well. So this is why I try to educate and try to talk about the STIs, STDs directly up here, try to bring up the stats, every now and again from different states or different outbreaks that may be taking place or happening. Because again, a lot of people will do all of this talking, but the way that they walk, the actions that they take will show you that they don't believe in the same stuff that they're talking about. It's crazy work. It's crazy work. Like I said, I need people to, to really do better. Let me see. What was it? Sham said she basically Went after him. His brain isn't even fully developed yet. She expected him to raise a kid. Yeah, that's diabolical work. You expected this young dude to like really want to be a father. Nah. I could have sat up there and basically stated that. I could have said that was a dummy mission. But like I said, it was Sham. At the end of the day, she's about money. A lot of them directly out here are solely about money, especially if they're going after young guys who are in their 20s and they're, they got a career in NBA. They got a career in soccer or football, right? Or they got a career in American football. That's what tends to happen every single time. You'll see a lot of these older women. They're not going to go after the men of their same age because those guys already know what's up. They already know what type of time that those women are on, and they're ducking and dodging them like you ain't never seen. So they're going after, easy targets. It is what it is. Ty says 16 and pregnant was on MTV. Yep. Sham said, yep. And it was a disgusting show profiting off of the suffering of children. Yeah. You said we shouldn't even be discussing children until 26 or 27. Your brain isn't fully developed until 25. The part of the brain that makes rational decisions isn't ready to raise a child. And that is 100% true. Mo said, as a disclaimer, SEIJIHITO is not a sex expert. He thought, you know what? I'm glad I didn't actually post that. I'm like, yeah, let me just read this out loud. I'm like, I can't read this out loud. Basically, long story short, the disclaimer from Mo basically is stating that my comments are strictly for entertainment purposes only. Oh man, y'all be killing me with some of these comments, man. Let me tell you, that man is hilarious. That man is hilarious. Like I said, this is why I love my moderators. You guys are awesome people. Awesome people. Let me tell you. Now we're going to go to
We were married.
another. Oh, there were actually two videos. I went to the tail end. So yeah, this was the next video. So let me just kind of paraphrase this by stating that there's a video online, and it is stated that this young woman here is supposedly Dr. Umar's daughter. Again, I don't know if that's true or not, but she basically is stating that she is, and this is what she has to say, right? So let's listen in.
Hey TikTok, so I just wanted to come on here with a small short announcement. I just want to start this video off by saying I'm not trying to get clout. I literally just want to have a conversation with my father. My biological father is Dr. Umar. He has another daughter. I tried to contact him about, getting to know my sister on my dad's side. I asked him if he knows her or if he has her number. He ignored me and never responded. I'm 22 years old now. My dad has never been to anything important, no graduation, no birthday parties, nothing. He has not been in my life. Again, I'm not making this video to bash him. I'm making this video to state facts, okay? You can't get on Instagram and get on social media and portray to be an activist and talk about how black kings need to be with black women, but you're not even in your black woman's daughter's life. It doesn't make sense. You're being a hypocrite.
Now let me just freeze it right there, right? Because I'm gonna pause in between here just to put some other things there. Now, as the younger woman as she is at this moment in time, I think she's probably in her 20s or early 20s, and she's stating that she wants to get in contact with her father. Dr. Umar is all over social media. He also has meet and greets that he has. So I'm pretty sure she really, if it was really imperative, I've seen people who really was like trying to hunt down and look for their parents show up. They would just pull up to the scene, right? As if it was the last day on earth. So if she wanted to really see her father, there's a variety of places across the United States in which Dr. Umar goes and he meets and greets people in various cities. She could literally go and travel. He has social medias all over. She can happen to pull up there. He has live streams that he does quite often. Again, she could pull up there. For whatever reason, again, that's not anything that seemingly has happened or taken place by her own admission, by her own words, but she decided to use the exact same internet of which Dr. Umar uses in order to put this message out there to everybody else. But at the same time, she wants to say that she is not bashing, right? The other thing I want to put into context as well is the fact of the mother, right? What stories did the mother specifically tell? Give directly to the daughter. Why has it taken so long for her to really get into quote unquote contact with Dr. Umar so that she could see him? Because again, coming from a single parent household, in order for me to even know about or to even have met my father, it wasn't in a sense because he was looking for me. It was because my mom reached out to him. It was like, hey, 18th birthday. He's been, asking for a very, very long time. He wants to sit up there and meet you, yada, 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 right? This is something that I've asked for. This is something I think I might have even said for my 18th birthday or 19th. That was something that I wanted. And, it was able to happen and I was able to, see him. So again, something's missing here because I'm going from my experience on how things basically worked out. Because two adults can have a conversation, a cordial conversation, and make things happen. So, just putting that little layer in there. But let's continue.
And it's frustrating because I reached out to you. I reached out to you. I shouldn't have had to do that. I'm your daughter. But I'm smart enough and logical enough to know that you would never reach out to me because you don't have my phone number. And I'm pretty sure you wouldn't try to reach out to me because for what? I don't want anything out of you. I want nothing but a conversation. Forget the relationship. I really don't care too much about that at this point. I just wanted a conversation out of you and you shut me down. You ignored me. You should never be too busy for your daughter ever in life. So I just wanted to make this video to just try to, I guess, somehow find my sister on my dad's side. So if you see this, please reach out to me. Please DM me because I want to know who you are. Why do I have siblings out there that I don't know about? It's unfair. And, deadbeat fathers is very common nowadays, especially in the black community, right? We all know Dr. Umar reps the black community or whatever, but you can't rep that if you're not even in your daughter's life.
So let me pause right there. Now, remember she said earlier that she's only speaking facts. She's not trying to bash. But in the same time as you supposedly talking about Dr. Umar, who was supposedly your father, you're also running in the whole thing of deadbeat fathers. I just want people to just so happen to see that. And again, she wanted to, bring it up as the fact that I don't really want nothing from him, but you said that you're looking for a conversation, which means that you're trying to get some type of fulfillment directly out of this, something that was specifically missing. And then she wants to layer more importance on there because she was like, it's unfair that I got other siblings that I don't know nothing about and yada, 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 all this other, type of good stuff. Again, if people are really looking for and want to know who is out there, they would actually find them. There's people right now, going back and digging in history to like the 1800s, and they're going through the United States to find those family members, knocking door to door, trying to figure out who those people are. Again, if people really want to do these things, they'll do it. I know that more than likely I got some other siblings out there from my father's side, but I'm like, it is what it is. The only person that I wanted to see is him. And I was able to sit up there and get that, right? I was able to, do that. I'm fine. Right. I don't need no more. I don't need no less. Got to have a, conversation, talked about, cartoons, animes, got to, show him my drawings, read some poetry directly to him and find out, things that he's interested. That's the only thing I wanted. Right. I wanted to, have that, that whole thing, which was dope, which, I still hold, still to this day. But like I said before, if people really want to find out and look for and search certain things, you're not going to go through the route of going through social media. That's not how you're going to do it. You're going to do this behind the scenes. You're not going to make the whole world aware or anything like that, while at the same time say that you're not trying to bash this person or the image of this, that you're doing exactly what it is that you said that you weren't doing. And you're trying to hide it under the disguise of you're just speaking facts. That's insane. But let's continue.
You moving backwards. You're moving backwards. It's not making sense. To the public, you look like this person, but in private, you a whole nother person. And I'm not bashing you. I just don't understand why you're ignoring me. I'm 22 years old and you have yet to be in my life. No graduations, no parties. When I get married, are you going to be at the wedding? Are you going to walk me down the aisle?
She just says she don't need none of that.
Yo, I have a stepdad who has been in my life since a little girl. He has been in my life. And I thank God for him, because my biological father couldn't even do that, y'all. My biological father is not even on my birth certificate, because when my mom had me, he left.
Now, okay, right? Two things I want to go over. And I'm, again, if people don't like, the way I happen to pause the content, it is what it is. But I like to interject. So two things she said. She said that, quote unquote, Dr. Umar, her biological father, has never been in her life. But at the same time, she said she's not even looking for the relationship. She don't even need that. She just wants a simple conversation. But then she's like, oh, but are you going to walk me down the aisle, like the things that, girls and women happen to, want and need, later on? Are you actually going to be there? You weren't there for the graduations. But you just said that you didn't need none of that. You just said that you wanted a conversation. You wanted to know the other sibling that you may have directly out there. You said that's all you wanted. But you keep layering on all of this other emotional stuff, which means that even though vocally you're stating that you don't want anything from him, you still want an emotional connection. You still, want something there, something that is missing, because you're still looking for something, right? You still want some type of fulfillment. And then at the same time, she's like, all right, well, even though he wasn't there, I still got this stepfather that's always been great, that's been there my whole life. So then focus on that stepfather. Focus on that man that has always been there, always been present, right? Why, in a sense, focus on something that is non-existent, as you stated? Somebody that's never been. Why do that? Like I said, that makes no type of sense. Wouldn't that, in a sense, bring heartache? Wouldn't that reopen old wounds that have already been healed by way of another person having a positive effect on your life by being there for you? When you're stating that he was never like I said, like a lot of this stuff just don't make sense. And this is why I stated before, I don't like when celebrity kids, in a sense, want to come out on social media and they want to do all of this, because to me it makes no sense. It just seems like people are doing this for publicity. They're doing it for notoriety. They're doing it for attention because they're seeking attention, and the easiest way to do it is by leveraging the name of said famous parent, because everybody knows who that is. So there'll be a whole bunch of drama, name in the headlights, all this other type of stuff, yada yada yada, in order to try to get some type of response or whatnot or whatever. Because I kid you not, I won't be too shocked if later on I see her directly on somebody's podcast, sitting on somebody's couch, talking about this whole thing. And then by proxy, people are going to try to use that in order to talk down about further Dr. Umar Johnson, which is crazy to me. And again, people will profit off of negativity. The main reason that a lot of people specifically like talking about Dr. Umar is because they can talk about him in a negative light, where it is that they can just so happen to make money. They can just so happen to profit. They can get tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views by talking about him negatively and highlighting those things. But yet those same exact people can't find a way to positively talk about any of the issues that he's covered, which has been, again, like I said before, when he goes around the United States and he's talking to black people, he's talking to people groundwork, talking to people in the black community, trying to help them, trying to give them some ideas and give them advice and all of these things, trying to give them perspective. They don't want to talk about that and try to break that and dissect those heavy topics. It's a lot easier to feed into and to go off of these things because it's more profitable, right? And again, what is it? It's the subject of a black man, quote unquote, doing something negative. So because of that, everybody's going to be able to profit off of that because it's dealing with black people in a negative light. Let's continue.
And I do have a DNA test. So yes, I can prove that that's my father. I would never get on here and lie to y'all. That's kind of sick and delusional and crazy. But I'm just making this video because I want to find my sister. And when I reached out to him about giving me her number, or if he even had it, I was ignored. So now I guess I have to take matters into my own hands. So if you see this video, sister, please reach out to me, because if he's not going to allow us to be in contact, I'll do it myself. I just want to end this video off by saying that daughters who have deadbeat fathers should not have to go through this. This is very present in the black community. And as an activist, I would not think that you would be a deadbeat because you rep the black community so much. It doesn't make any sense. You cannot be a hypocrite. You can't say do A, but you're doing B. It doesn't make any sense. So y'all already heard my mission for this video. Y'all already heard why I'm making this video. So if she can reach out to me, I would love that. I would love to have a conversation with you because you are my sister on my father's side that I have never met. I don't even know your name. I don't even know how old you are. I have a sister on my mom's side and I'm the oldest. I'm pretty sure that my sister that's on my dad's side, I'm probably older than her. I'm supposed to be guiding her. I'm supposed to be teaching her things because you as the father, you're not doing that. So let me do that as an older sister. But that's the end of this video. As I stated in the beginning of this video, I'm not trying to bash this man. I'm stating facts. Facts. And in the next clip, I will show y'all the screenshot of me trying to reach out to him and he ignored me after I asked him if he had my sister's phone number. So here you go.
So let's just pause it real quick. Said peace and Pan-Africanism. If this is, in fact, my daughter, is there a reason why you're not messaging me directly from your cell phone? Right? In response, she said, this is my iCloud, but my phone number is blacked out. And he said, supposedly text me from your phone. She said, this is Anissa number again. He said, this is a different number. Why the different numbers? You got, is it the 267 or the 443? She said it was the 4. Yeah, why would you be given two different numbers? Like that doesn't make any type of sense at all. There should only be one number that you're specifically giving him. It shouldn't be two numbers. Again, I would not sit up there and fault him for feeling a certain type of way as if it's some type of setup or whatever. And then after that, he said, do you have any other children? Well, she said, do you have any other children? I would love to meet them. And do you know their numbers? Right. So she said that he ignored. He didn't ignore. He actually replied. The only thing that seemingly didn't get a response is the last one. But that is not a full on ignoring you and not responding directly to you. Again, this is why I have a lot of problems with a lot of celebrity kids wanting to go out on the way of social media and wanting to talk about their parents. So we're going to look at Dr. Umar's response, right? And this is the brother's response. I got to zoom this in for myself. It says, and this is from, I'm going to take his IG. It says, good Garvey day. As I don't live in prison of other people's opinions, I have no interest in discussing nor explaining my private life with any of you, as my 15 years as the most relevant and requested scholar / orator, activist, Pan-Africanist in the world has made it clear to me that the Negro public is only interested in laughing at the expense of other people's misery. Neither the Queenocracy nor the YouTubian struggle streamer community couldn't care less about the truth of the situation. With that being said, please ask that little girl to stand on business by asking her mother to join in on a three-way conversation about why her father hasn't been present in her life. I have no problem with that with this conversation being public, but her mother must be present for that conversation. She needs to keep the same energy and bring her mother to the table. I am sure that the truth will be revealed if all three of us are present together. I have absolutely nothing to hide, and I still have all of my family court paperwork in case any lies are told. Trying to use your father's name to build your struggle streamer career is not cool. And I agree. I 100% agree. And, I know that some people online are probably going to be like, oh, why does the mother need to be there when you should just directly speak to the mother needs to be there. Because what I've stated to other people on this platform before, what happens is that a lot of mothers will use their kids as pawns. They will keep their kids directly from the fathers. Let's say the father decided that he doesn't want to be with the mother no more, but he wants to be present directly in the child's life. A lot of women are vindictive. They'll be like, no. If you don't want nothing to do with me, even if the woman is in a relationship, if you don't want nothing to do with me, then you ain't having nothing to do with these kids. So it'll be this tug of war directly with the kids because the woman wants to be emotionally unstable. She wants to make emotional decisions because she feels a certain type of way, right? And she don't just want the kid to get the attention. She also wants the attention as well, which is diabolical within itself. I've showed a lot of court videos dealing with this. It could be divorce court or whatever it was, where the female judges had to come out and scold and start talking directly to these women, asking them like, yo, what are you doing? Like, how dare you sit up there and use this child as some type of pawn, as some type of thing, in order to do whatever, in order to hurt the man. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of people happen to say, like, you're not, of course, hurting yourself, but you're hurting that child at the end of the day, because that child is going to be the one that is going to have to suffer. Right. But again, these are conversations that a lot of people don't want to have. A lot of people don't want to focus on the fact that you have a lot of women out here that are bad actors as mothers. They always want to focus in on the narratives. Oh, look at the man is not doing. He should be doing this. He should be doing that. All mothers are great mothers. All mothers are beautiful mothers. The sacrifices. Every single woman out here is not a mother just because they can bear and deliver kids. That does not mean that they're a mother. And that's crazy. And that's massively disrespectful to the women out here who are actually moms, who are actually mothers. But like I said, we're living in an existence of where all women are just great women. They do no wrong. They can never do anything wrong. This is why I need people to look up some videos of the women in Korea and how it is that they drop off kids that they have. I'm talking about women will just give birth and they're dropping off kids in these drop boxes because they don't want to be responsible. If we actually had drop boxes here in the United States, you would see orphanages across all 50 states. Because a lot of women would actually rather not be responsible for their kids. They would rather give the responsibility to somebody else. But, here we are. This is what we got to, deal with in these situations. So let's go to a video that I thought we technically left back in 2024 because I thought her 15 minutes of fame was actually up at this moment in time. Here we go.
On an empty plane before an early morning flight. She's the flight attendant whose twerking cost her dream job.
I didn't think that being so happy can turn into something like this.
She posted the video on TikTok along with the caption, "What's wrong with a little twerk before work?" But after the video went viral, she says Alaska Airlines fired her.
I decided to just take advantage of the moment to wake myself up and get myself hyped up for my day, basically.
What did they say to you?
They just said that I broke their social media policy.
Nell had only been on the job for 6 months. She was twerking to celebrate the end of her probationary period. Why did you decide to post the video?
And I was really proud of myself that I came so far. I just didn't think that my video and my post and the way I was dancing would be deemed as inappropriate. I put on such a proud face every time I stepped on that plane, and for them to terminate me without giving me a chance, it just was unfair.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. She had a great paying job and she decided that she wanted to twerk directly on a plane, knowing the fact that either jealous women out there would see her and look at her and be like, I don't like her. I don't like the way that she's able to dress. I can't dress like that. All this other type of stuff. And they report her. I can easily tell you that's more than likely what happened. There were women that followed on her social media. And I've seen this time and time again. Women who don't like other women and who are jealous and envious. They want to try to bring that woman down a couple of notches. And these women will formulate these groups directly on Facebook or wherever else in these private groups. And all of these haters will come together in unison in order to attack one person who don't even know nothing about them, don't even know that they actually exist. But these people are so fixated because they don't look or they don't got the same body or whatnot. Because of all of their insecurities and envy and jealousy, they'll decide to do stuff just like this. And I can promise you that's how this happened. That is how she lost her job. Because I'm not going to sit up there and state that, whatever airline she worked for was, watching her like a hawk on social. No. A lot of these airlines or these jobs don't really care that much. It's only up until somebody else, a quote unquote customer or supposed customer, brings this to their awareness. And then that's when action takes place. That's normally how this happens. And that's more than likely 9 times out of 10 how she inevitably ended up losing her job. Because I can promise you, ain't no man across the United States, either gay or straight, report her. I can tell you that. I can promise you that. It was not men on either side of the aisle that sat up there and reported her and got her fired. I can promise you that. I can 100% promise you that. Well, I'll put it, I'll give you a 99.9% that, you know, that's not how it worked out. But, you know, like I said, it is what it is. This is why you got to be, as a woman, you got to be very cautious on what it is that you decide to do, because you got haters all around you. And the craziest part is, it would be very funny if it was actually somebody that was close to her that might have been jealous, that might have been envious. Because usually that's how it happens. You got some of the closest people. For women, y'all got some of the closest people out there that be the utmost haters, that will despise you, that will try to do the devil's work and make sure that you will fall down real quick, bring you down a couple of notches. But again, you know, these are things that people don't want to, you know, just so happen to talk about. And I also more than likely state that she probably didn't have the complexion, but technically she does at the same time. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So let's go to another topic that I tried to talk about that a lot of people don't want to highlight.
Pregnant with my kid, but we're not together. Waiting on the process for divorce, but when you say she's pregnant with your kid, she's pregnant. We did so it's your age? Yes, my age. Okay. She called my phone like 20 times before she came here. I didn't answer. What time did all this start? She has my phone. I don't know. She has my phone. So give me an approximate. What time? It is 8:57. So like 9? No, like 7 o'clock. Okay, so like, okay. So she called me. I didn't answer because I was out. Then, she called you? Yes. So then, out of nowhere, we're cleaning up and we hear a knock at the door. You two are cleaning up? Yes, we're cleaning up. And we hear a knock at the door. So, I go to open the door. I tell her to step in the room because I already know how this is going to go. So I try to... Who are you to her? We're together. Okay. But I was with her and... Obviously. Okay. So, when she comes, she knocks on the door. Yeah, she knocks on the door. So I tried to tell her, like, you can't come in. Like, I don't have to listen to my house. So she pushes me out the way. I'm not trying to push the girl, so I'm just like trying to block her. She pushes her way in. Yeah, she pushes her way in. Then she's going through all my stuff, going through my house. So at this point, I know she's looking for somebody because she's opening every single door that she sees.
So that was just a small little snippet. But the reason I wanted to bring that up is to showcase the fact that even in those relationships, and these are 3 women, right? So you got one woman that was with them. I guess they were married at a moment in time, and the girl is pregnant or whatever, and they're not in a relationship. And clearly this woman is with somebody else. And inevitably what took place is that the woman just didn't get over everything that took place, and she wanted to come to the lady's house, and she wanted to try to fight the new girlfriend. That's crazy work. And again, these are 3 women. I'm pretty much assuming that the other woman is more than likely black. So you got all of these women here, and this is what is happening, what is going on, and you also got technically a child involved as well too. And this is something that I've tried to highlight as well, the toxicity when it deals with a lot of these things, and how this could be very, very dangerous, especially when it's a domestic disturbance. This is one of the main calls that a lot of cops do not even want to respond to. They would probably rather respond to an armed robbery or something versus a domestic call, because anything can happen. Literally, you don't know who is going to attack. You don't know whose emotions are where or what to specifically expect. You just got to hopefully have your spider senses and just watching everything, right? But like I said, a lot of people don't want to talk about this and how dangerous this is and how this could potentially end up, because who's to say that the other woman, the ex-girlfriend that came to her house, didn't have a weapon directly on her, wasn't really trying to do bodily harm to the woman, the other woman that you see directly to the right side of the screen. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And all because you want to be emotional because the person is no longer with you and they moved on. Like I said, this is what I be talking about. But people don't want to, go out and highlight or talk about any of these things when they just so happen to take place. Crazy work. So now we're going to hit up a few videos that Pink had sent. Let me see if I can actually get that real quick. We got this one here.
It was mid. It was mid. It was nothing spectacular. Kendrick fans were just glazing him.
It's okay. It's okay.
Drake's had enough.
Chill.
So what you're able to see there was that man was losing his mind over the, and I ain't never seen this before. I ain't never seen a white guy lose himself over a Super Bowl. And it's not even for the reason that I thought it was going to be. It was for the fact that he is a huge Drake fan. And he was like, yeah, Kendrick didn't really do nothing. Like, this is unfair. This, that, and the third. This is crazy. Like, somebody got to put a stop to this. That is insane to actually see. That man he is going through it at this moment in time. He is a diehard Drake fan. Is a diehard Drake fan. I'm pretty sure if Drake were to actually see that clip, that he would probably, maybe send that dude some money or something, or get him some clothes or something. Because that's usually what tends to happen. Like, people who are really diehard fans and whatnot, he can really see that being conveyed. He's like, I got you. Let me do something nice for you. That's crazy though. That's crazy. We got another video. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah. Here's the other one right here.
People. What do you want? We is watching Tubi. Leave us the hell alone. I done just told y'all that we are on break. We'll be back right around 2029. I don't know. We are on break. Leave us alone. We ain't bothering nobody. We is in this bed. We is watching Tubi. We got some good snacks. Leave us the hell alone. Y'all deal with all this. Stop asking questions. Obviously, you knew the answers. Leave us alone. We good over here. Hell, you're mad when we quiet. Hell, you're mad when we talking. Goddamn, we ain't bothering nobody. We is in our houses, minding our business, snipping on our tea, watching Tubi. That's all we doing. Leave us alone. We are on break. Do y'all get that? When somebody on break, you don't be messing with them. Leave them alone. We are on break.
That's facts. And that's something that a lot of black women have been stating for the longest time possible. And white women have to only blame themselves for this, because they decided that during the election that they were going to forego the friendship supposedly that they had with black women, the sisterhood, being in the whole feminism thing and fighting against the man. And white women were like, yeah, we're fighting against the man and whatnot, whatever, but that man that we fighting against is still our man at the end of the day. He provides us provisions and protection and all this other type of stuff. So y'all on your own, we're going to sit up there and vote for, our community. And that's what they did. They decided to forego and skip directly over black women to jump over the line. Once they knew that it was their time to shine, white women were like, we are here. We are in the promised land. We are going to be special and great once again, like we always knew that we were, like we once were before. All of the shine and the light and God's praises are going to be on us. And white women were like, what just happened? They were like, we crossed over and we thought the grass was going to be greener. We don't know what this is. This looks like some Handmaid's Tale type stuff. We don't know what they're trying to do. Black women, we are sorry. We need your help. Let's come back together and go back to the table. And we're going to figure out, we're going to go to the war room and we're going to, figure some stuff out. Matter of fact, we're so sorry. We created these friendship bracelets to let you know that we're still with you. We still support you. We're still in the fight with you, sister. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is diabolical work. That is really, really crazy work. And this is why I tried to tell a lot of black women before, like, hey, these people ain't really your friends. They using you the same way they did with the CIA when the feminism movement came directly. And this is why I kept trying to speak on this for years. I'm like, yo, these are the same women who are with their men trying to, well, not even trying to, destroying the black community, trying to, uproot and destroy the civil rights movement and all this other. These were the exact same people. These were the same people these were the same women that were behind the men of the government when they had all of these rules about vagrancy, segregation, redlining, burning down all of these cities and towns of black people and everything. Like I said, this is why history matters. But like I said before, nobody wanted to pay attention. Nobody wanted to listen. And because people don't want to listen and pay attention, you're meant to face what it is that you have to face. So now the hard truth, now the hard reality has set into a lot of black women. Now a lot of black women got to look at, a lot of their, white sisters, and they got to figure out, like, what are we doing? How are we gonna move forward, if we're gonna move forward, and yada yada yada. And what does it say? Like I said, it's a whole bunch of stuff. It's a whole bunch of stuff at this moment in time. Well, like I said, it is what it is. People are gonna have to sit up there and figure it out. Pink said she said nothing but facts, especially about Tubi. Yeah. Like I said, this is the time that black women are like, yo, we're taking a rest. We've been trekking, we've been walking for way too long. We done this march far way too long. So yeah, we on break. We're on break until further notice. It be like that. So now I got another video that I ended up seeing while I was collecting, and this is actually going to speak on something that I brought up to you guys about a week or two ago, right? So let's listen.
People keep putting this in my comments. Listen, y'all, I am mixed and white passing, but when people ask me my ethnicity, I don't go around saying I'm black. I say I'm white because I'm seen in this world as a completely white woman. I got whiter parts of me. You want to see those too? Because fuck, like, I've never denied that I'm white. I'm just using my white privilege, the experience that I've had living up close with white people, and the experience that I have as a biracial person, having experience being in the black community as well on the black side of my family, to be able to, like, really draw some attention to what the fuck is wrong with this world. And you want to know one of the things that I've noticed, although the black community has its issues, as every community does, you want to know which community is really fucked up and weird and fucking creepy and creates most of the fucking issues? Whites! 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 Whites are coming!
So there you have it. You have somebody that is biracial, somebody who is, as I've spoken on before, you have a lot of these individuals who, because of the biracial relationships that take place in between black and white, you have kids that come out like this, and you have a lot of kids that are very much passing. She is pretty much the complexion of Logic. If you don't know who Logic is a rapper who is both black and white, right? He's a part of a interracial, biracial, whatever. And when you look at him, you would think that he's just a white boy, right? He calls himself the black Frank Sinatra, I think. I forgot what it was. It's been so long ago since I've listened to Logic. But he said the exact same thing that she is in a sense stating right now. But the funniest thing that she is stating is the fact of white privilege. A lot of white people are like, there's no such thing as white privilege. Like, what is that? I've never experienced that. Well, I guess you got to be biracial and very much passing in order to experience that quote unquote white privilege. Because I can more than likely tell you, for all intents and purposes, if you were to put her in some small white town somewhere, she would easily match in and nobody's really going to blink an eye, because you're not going to look at her and be like, yeah, she's black. I see it there. She reminds me more so technically of Carrot Top in a sense. You know, when it deals with the way that she looks, her skin and everything like that, and Carrot Top is white, right? And again, this is how she looks. She specifically stated that, hey, she can pretty much go in between, but realistically, she's going to identify as white because of how it is that she looks. She knows that, you know, she has a black side to her. She knows that she got 50% here and 50% there, but outwardly speaking, she is a white woman. And that is what she is going to directly identify as. And I'm not even mad at her, because you're going to have a lot of people in the black community that's going to look at her and they're going to specifically tell her that she's white. They'll tell her that to her face. And just like she listed before, of course, there are problems in the black community, just like there's problems, you know, within every, you know, community, but more so specifically when it deals with other communities that are white, they tend to be more problematic than others directly out there. And she would know, because she's more than likely spent way more time with the white side than the black side. And the other thing that I do know and understand is that by looking by way of social media and online, the weird fixation that the other side has, the Caucasian side tends to have when it deals with, biracials that look just like this, is very weird. It is very, like, a lot of the stuff that they just so happen to say and insinuate and all these is crazy. But like I said, if you've never heard the conversations, you've never seen it written, you wouldn't actually understand it. So this is why I happen to tell people, like, hey, you can go do some research and go learn some stuff about how other people happen to see other people, and take it directly from there. Or you can happen to watch content when it deals with kids out here who are biracial, and you can happen to take their word directly from it. But like I said, to take it specifically from quote unquote white people to speak on this topic is crazy, because they wouldn't know, because they're not of really either or group like that. They're not a part of like two halves, right? They're only just 100% one side, and just deciding that they want to speak on this, that, and the third, and all that other type of stuff. But yeah, pretty much that is it. We are at the classic 2 hour and 2 mark. So we actually did pretty good today. We got a nice 33 here, consistently held about a good, I want to say 25 to 27 viewers at this moment in time. Again, it was a little bit easier, easier content at this moment in time. Nothing too much to rage about or anything like that. But again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all of you guys who decided to pull directly up to the live stream and just spend time just listening. Hopefully you guys happen to look back at some of the other live streams as well, just in case you might need something to listen to on a work day to help you just get through that slog of time and whatnot. And again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all of you guys who have come through and shown love or donated directly to the platform, or done another variety of things as well. Love you guys a lot, respect you guys a lot, value you guys a lot, and I wouldn't be able to do what it is that I do without people like you. And again, shout out to any and all of you guys who recently just subscribed to the channel. I'm not sure how the subscriptions are working for the original channel, because I don't really see anything moving, which is weird considering the numbers that are there. But looking at the secondary channel, shout out to you guys, because we are almost at 40K. It has been a long time coming, and we are almost there. So again, shout out to you guys, much love, respect, and appreciation. And that is it for this live stream. And like I told you guys before, I will have a lot of this content, no matter how many hours I spent here. I will have this in a shorter form, which is more so probably about anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes long, so that you can just watch everything in a straight shot. You don't have to really listen to the commentary. You can just hear something at the end if you choose to make it that far. But again, love you guys, appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. Peace out.